Once you've set the log up and you've done all your measurements, the mill's set up and you're ready to go, the only other thing you need to do is just have a look at the saw blade in relation to the top of the log and determine how much you want to take off in your first cut. This one here I reckon is a little bit low. I think it needs to be lifted up a little bit, so we'll lift it up an inch and we'll see what happens from there. I want to wind this up now, so what I'm going to do here is set it on 1 inch. Now you can set that by sliding this thing up or down, or you can slide the ruler up or down. It's entirely up to you which way you do go about it. 1 inch or 25 millimeters, whichever language you talk. Just wind her up to the top. What you do to one end, you now have to do to the other. And now we're right to start. Still going to take a little bit off, hopefully open up a usable face. Once you've finished your first cut and you've taken the top off your log, before you want to wind down for your next size, what I always do is bring the saw back over the log into the narrowest point, or where I want to put my first cut, and set the saw up, leaving it in a horizontal position. Set the saw up so that you don't have to guess where you need to put your first cut to open it up later on. So we just simply bring this in, move it into the position that you want, which is about there, right on the edge of that. Lock it down. Now you just simply move the sawmill back out of the way. Lock him down again, put the brake on. Get rid of your waste. We want to cut 150 by 50 mil out of this. So we now bring this over and set the ruler up right at the top. Do not set it on the 0 point and start to move down. The distance between the bottom, the 0 and the top of the ruler is your saw kerf. You must allow the saw kerf, otherwise your timber's going to be undersized. So wind it down past the 50 millimeters, bring it back up again. Go up the other end, wind it down past the 50, bring it back up again, and it's all good to go. Once you've removed the waste, or the piece off the side of the log that's not wanted, and you're ready to start cutting boards, all you then do is set it on whatever size it is you're looking for. Now we're after 150 millimeters or 6 inches, so we slide it over on this side of the ruler. Don't use that side. Slide it over so that you've got it on the 150 mark. Do the wing nut up like so. Then simply lift the side shift brake up with your right hand, with the left hand, grab the side winder and wind it across until it comes to the stop. Push your side shift brake back down again, tip the saw up into the vertical position, making sure that the swing handle locks down inside that catch. It needs to go in underneath the catch. Then you're ready to go. noticed in the previous cut that I made, the 6-inch cut, that I didn't do it in one pass. I chose to do it in 2 passes. I didn't attempt to do a full 6-inch pass in one go. The reason for that is a saw blade is designed to work in a vertical position. Whether it's a saw blade or whether it's a bandsaw, it really doesn't matter. They're all designed to work vertically. And when they're in a vertical position, the sawdust, when you start cutting and you start producing sawdust, the sawdust is designed to come into the gullet area, swirl, fill, and then anything that the gullet can't hold, it spills out the sides, and it spills evenly out both sides of the saw blade. And that's why you have side clearance on the saw. That's why the tooth is bigger than the saw blade, so that 1/3 sawdust that's spilling out the sides can fit in between the timber or the wood that you're cutting and the body of the saw, the saw blade body. When you tip a saw blade over into a horizontal position, you're now asking it to do something that it's not designed to do. And when you start cutting, instead of the sawdust swirling inside here, filling, and then spilling evenly out both sides of the saw blade, gravity now plays a part in the whole show, and all the sawdust wants to drop down onto the bottom side. But the bottom side is not designed to carry all the sawdust that you're producing in that cut. So now, instead of you having enough, the side clearance there is not enough for all the sawdust to pass through, so now it starts to pack the sawdust in between the saw blade and the timber. When you start to pack something, you create friction. Friction creates heat, and then all of a sudden you've got a hot saw blade that starts to wander all over the place. So instead of doing 150 millimeters or 200 millimeters in one pass, what we recommend is that you should halve your cuts. Now, by saying that, if you've got a 6-inch machine, anything over 3 or 4 inches you should do in 2 passes. If you've got a 7-inch machine, anything over 4 inches you should be doing in 2 passes. If you've got an 8-inch machine, anything over 4 or 5 inches you should be doing it in 2 passes, and a 10-inch machine should be 5 or 6 inches. Anything over that you should halve your cuts. If you're only cutting, for example with this 7-inch machine, 100 millimeters or 4 inches in a horizontal pass, you would only do it in the one pass. You wouldn't bother halving the cut. It's only when you go up over half the diameter of the blade is.